the legend of the Black Baron, a portrait of a German tank ace. The formidable war machines of Nazi Germany, especially their tanks, once spread terror across the battlefields of Europe. They were renowned for their superior power and advanced design, often outclassing their Allied counterparts. However, the true might of these steel monsters could only be unleashed to their fullest potential by the hands of exceptionally skilled soldiers. The story we are about to explore is that of one of the most legendary and perhaps most controversial German tank commanders of World War II, Michael Wittmann, known by his moniker, the Black Baron. Early days in the fires of war. When the guns of World War II roared to life in 1939, young Michael Wittmann, the son of a humble farmer, joined the military. His career began not in the driver's seat of a heavy tank, but as a member of a reconnaissance unit operating an armored car. While not a true tank, this served as Wittmann's initial stepping stone on his path to becoming an ace. He and his unit endured fierce battles in Poland before being redeployed to the Western Front, participating in campaigns against Belgium, the Netherlands, and France. After this series of engagements in early 1941, Wittmann underwent more specialized training to become a commander of mechanized artillery. His familiar armored car, first Fumguts III, was replaced by a different type of vehicle, more accurately, an assault gun. This was a powerful combat machine featuring a fixed 75mm main gun mounted directly to the hull, without a rotating turret. It was in one of these assault guns that Wittmann participated in the Greek campaign, where his exceptional leadership and combat abilities earned him the prestigious Iron Cross Second Class. Ascendance during Operation Barbarossa. Following the Greek campaign, Wittmann and his unit were sent to Czechoslovakia for re-equipment and preparation for a much larger operation. On June 22, 1941, a colossal force of 3.5 million German soldiers launched Operation Barbarossa, the massive invasion of the Soviet Union. Wittmann and his 1st SS Panzer Division were assigned to Army Group South under the command of Field Marshal Gerd von Rundstedt. Once again, Wittmann demonstrated the caliber of an outstanding leader. Despite being wounded, he still displayed extraordinary combat prowess, destroying 6 Soviet tanks in a single engagement. Within just a few short months afterward, his tally of confirmed kills skyrocketed to an astonishing 66 enemy tanks. From the harsh battlefields of the Soviet Union, Wittmann was recalled to Germany for more intensive tank training. He was promoted to lieutenant and given command of a tank platoon. Concurrently, his combat vehicle underwent a significant upgrade. Initially a Panzer III, it was soon replaced by something far more formidable, the Panzerkampfwagen 6, better known as the Tiger I. This was a true steel behemoth with a potent 88mm main gun capable of tearing through the armor of virtually any foe it encountered. Its thick armor, up to 120mm, rendered the Tiger I almost impervious to conventional weaponry. The Tiger's fury at Kursk and legendary exploits. Returning to the front lines in 1943, Wittmann first experienced the devastating power of his new Tiger during Operation Citadel, also known as the Battle of Kursk, widely considered the largest tank battle in history. With such a formidable tank at his disposal, Wittmann unleashed a rampage, carving a swathe of destruction through the Soviet lines. On the very first day of the battle, he destroyed 13 Soviet T-34s and 2 anti-tank guns. Following up on that feat, in the subsequent few days, he added another 10 enemy tanks, 3 light tanks, 2 self-propelled guns, 3 anti-tank guns, and a field artillery piece to his list of victims. Remarkably, he also survived a direct collision with a burning T-34, thanks to the quick thinking of his driver, who managed to speed away before the T-34's ammunition ignited. Despite Wittmann's and the German forces' best efforts, the Red Army withstood the offensive, and Operation Citadel ultimately failed. After a brief period of rest and refitting, Wittmann and his unit were once again sent to the front lines. His skills continued to be honed, and he consistently accumulated impressive kill counts. By January 1944, he was credited with knocking out 88 enemy tanks, artillery pieces, and other vehicles, earning him the Distinguished Knight's Cross. By the end of that month, his total enemy vehicles destroyed had climbed to 117. The Battle of Villers-Bocage, a historic mark. In May 1944, Wittmann was transferred to occupied France in preparation for the Allied invasion. When the Normandy landings, or D-Day, commenced on June 6, 1944, Wittmann and the 6 Tiger tanks in his unit were quickly redeployed to the area, arriving on June 12th. It was here that Wittmann achieved the most celebrated exploit of his illustrious career. On June 13, 1944, Wittmann and his unit were positioned near the town of Villers-Bocage, tasked with defending a crucial strategic point called Hill 213. Early that morning, the British 4th County of London Yeomanry was advancing towards the hill, where the Tiger tanks lay in wait. Along with supporting infantry, they were attempting to secure the roadway to push towards the city of Caen. Their visibility was significantly hampered by the thick vegetation of the Normandy countryside. In this engagement, Wittmann commanded his own Tiger, 3 other Tigers, and a Panzer IV. Opposing them was an overwhelming force of approximately 60 British tanks, half-tracks, gun carriers, and anti-tank guns. While many others might have felt uneasy being outnumbered by more than 10 to 1, Wittmann saw this as a target-rich environment. Leaving the rest of his unit to confront the front of the British column, he skillfully maneuvered around to the rear of the British forces undetected. At around 9 a.m., a panicked cry erupted over the British radio. "Good God! We've got to get out of here! There's a Tiger tank advancing about 50 meters from us." Bursting from the undergrowth like its namesake, Wittmann's Tiger struck the rear of the British column. Immediately, a Cromwell tank was blasted into scrap metal, followed shortly by a Firefly, and then 3 more tanks. Wittmann moved parallel to the roadway, using the Tiger's powerful 88mm gun to obliterate tanks, half-tracks, gun carriers, and anything else that came into his sights. The British returned fire fiercely, but their shells were largely an annoyance rather than a threat to the heavily armored Tiger. He continued to advance deeper into the Villers-Bocage area, continuously racking up more kills. The entire engagement lasted for approximately 15 minutes. When the dust settled, the Germans had destroyed 13 to 14 tanks, 13 to 15 transport vehicles, and 2 anti-tank guns. Other German units continued the fight for Villers-Bocage, turning it into a bitter debacle for the British advance. Wittmann, however, took no further part in the battle after his Tiger was disabled by an anti-tank gun that struck its drive wheel. For his exceptional actions that day, he was awarded the swords to his Knight's Cross and promoted to SS Hauptsturmführer, SS Captain. He spent the next 2 months fighting the Allied advance across France. The death of an ace and a contested legacy. On August 8th, Wittmann participated in a counterattack near the town of Saint-Aignan-de-Craménil, where his unit was ambushed by a combined British and Canadian tank force. A fatal blow pierced the armor of Wittmann's Tiger, igniting the ammunition inside. The horrific explosion killed the entire crew and completely blew off the tank's turret. Wittmann was buried in a communal grave, and it wasn't until 1983 that his remains were positively identified and reinterred at the German military cemetery in La Combe, Normandy. Michael Wittmann's legacy is a complex and often debated topic. In total, he is considered one of, if not the most, successful tank aces of all time, with an astonishing record of approximately 138 enemy tanks and 132 artillery pieces destroyed. His exploits continue to be studied and discussed vigorously to this day. However, it's crucial to remember that a tank is not operated by a single man. Wittmann's success cannot be separated from the talent of his crew, especially his gunner, Balthasar Woll. Woll was renowned for his ability to use the main gun like a sniper rifle, capable of hitting targets even while on the move. An incredibly difficult feat in an era before gyro stabilizers. On the other hand, many are skeptical about Wittmann's claimed record. Many believe that his kill counts were exaggerated, and there's no doubt that his actions were widely used as a tool for Nazi propaganda, making the truth difficult to ascertain. Some have also suggested that he was at times reckless and foolhardy, often advancing alone against the enemy without support from other members of his unit, as he did at Villers-Bocage. It's also believed that his reputation owes more to the durability of the Tiger One than solely to his personal skill. The thick armor of the Tiger rendered it almost impervious to most anti-tank weapons of the time, so enemy tanks weren't as significant a threat to him. This is reinforced by the fact that, after transferring to the Western Front, Wittmann was killed in action after just 2 months, where he faced Allied tanks equipped with more powerful guns capable of penetrating the Tiger's formidable armor.
Regardless of the definitive truth behind the numbers or the ongoing debates, Michael Wittmann is still remembered by history as arguably one of the greatest tank commanders. The story of his life continues to spark countless discussions and arguments decades after his death.